Hello, 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 and welcome to the Ooh Wee Chronicles. I'm DB Bray, and I will be the host for this evening. And tonight we have Kawan Foy, the author, the legend, part of the original five. So, if you haven't picked up one of his books, please feel free to pick up one of his books and enjoy them thoroughly. So, we're going to be getting going here in just a minute. What's up, guys? How you doing? Sorry, I was just adding folks to the live. One sec. Uh oh.
It was good, Mike. You buffering. Okay, you there? Go on. Yeah, you're frozen. Difficulties, and we'll be right back. Hang on one second.
Are we good now?
Are we good now? Yeah, we good now. I hear you.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Can you
All
see
right,
me?
cool. I can see you just fine, brother.
Okay. I wanted to make when I'm outside, sometimes it should get a little crazy.
Well, that's where you're writing, so I know.
Uh-huh.
We're starting early. Is that Merlot or what is that?
This is 99 Crimes. I don't know why I like this shit. It's one of the few wines that don't give me a headache.
That's
It's
actually
red.
something
It's
I
the red.
didn't know. That's
Yeah.
actually something I didn't know. So,
Cool.
okay, cool. Learn every day. So, Kawan Foy,
What up,
welcome
though? What up?
to
What
the
up?
Ooh Wee Chronicles.
Oh, wait.
Ooh Wee. Thank you so much for coming on. You're
Yeah,
my
man. No
favorite
doubt.
writer. You
I
the man.
appreciate you. I
You
appreciate you,
know
my
what it
boy.
is. So, got a little bit to go over here, Kawan. I spent the last 3.5 hours
No
collecting
shit.
data. Are you prepared?
Oh, always,
You're
man.
always ready. Why do
Always.
I ask that question? For those of you that are logging on that just don't know, I call him the Biggie of literature. He is one of the best writers, bar none, any genre in the world.
Appreciate that, man.
This is a list of his accolades if you are just tuning in and have been living on
Hmm.
Uranus for the last 25 years. Gangsta started it all, 2003.
Uh-huh.
You're looking
No,
at me like,
2000,
why you stop?
no,
Street Dream,
2002.
Street
2002.
2002. Street
Uh-huh.
Dream, 2004.
Street Dreams, yeah. It was Gangster, Road Dogs, then Street Dreams.
Yeah. Hoodlum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong page. So here's the series as they open. Gangsta and Gutter are part of the Gangsta series,
Mm-hmm.
collectively. Hoodlum
Right.
series. Hoodlum and Hoodlum 2,
Mm-hmm.
2005, 2017. The
Right.
Hood Rat series.
Mm-hmm.
Hood Rat 2006. Still Hood 2007. Section 8 2009. Welfare Wifeys 2010. Eviction Notice 2011. No Shade 2015.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Was it 14? Yeah, 15 years.
Good. Animal series. Prequel The Ghetto Bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Animal. The Omen. Revelations. Last Rites.
Mm-hmm.
Animal 4. That's
Four, no,
correct.
four, Animal 4 is last rights. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the Black Lotus series, I'm a big fan of Detective Wolf. That's where I fell in love with your
My
writing.
man, my man.
Black Lotus 2014, and now November 2020, folks. I've already pre-ordered my copy. You should too. It's called The Vow. It is Black Lotus 2.
That was the you know what's crazy? The first novella in the Black Lotus came from The Vow. What I did for the first novella was I took a section of it and wrote a story based on that section. Because what happened was when I first tried to shop the Vow, I was real heavy with the street lit shit. And so editors didn't really want to fuck with what was working. They was like, nah, just stay in the room of what you're doing and yada yada. So it took years until I found a publisher that was willing to take a chance on it.
Okay, but it's being released in November. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yep. You and me both, buddy.
I cannot wait. I'll probably buy 5 copies of it just so I can
My man.
get it. So the Purple City series, Purple Rain, Little Nicky Grind.
Yeah. And Loving Gunplay is also attached to that.
We'll get into those standalones, won't we? Fix
Mm-hmm.
series. My hand hurt from writing. The Fix 2014, The Fix 2 2014. We did a double banger on 2014 on that. One of the greatest
Uh-uh.
series that Kawan Foy has ever written. The Fix
Yeah.
3
Mm-hmm.
2016. Here we go. These are the standalone novels. Road Dogs, Street Dreams, Eve,
Mm-hmm.
Fool's Paradise with Nikki Turner. That was also accredited.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. We can get into that too, but that's a
Sure.
whole nother story.
Lawless 2019, Make the Trap House Go Boom. What? Yes.
But
There it is. Wrath. Have you read the ending of Wrath after you wrote it and gave me nightmares?
you know, at the end of the Wrath, I kind of knew where I wanted to go with it.
Mhm.
You know, as far as the end, because like I said, I wanted to do some different shit with Wrath. I wanted to do some different shit, so I knew that the end, because it was a standalone. And Wrath was the first time I had wrote a standalone novel, probably in like 10 years. So it's like, you know, retraining your brain to finish the story. Like you said, how thick the book is. So it's like retraining your brain to finish the story. So I know it had to go out with a bang.
Mm-hmm. It did. If you haven't bought Wrath, jump off the live and buy it and jump right back. We'll be here. So here's some collections that I've found your work in. Flexin' and Sexin' with Eric Gray and Anna J.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Flirt 2009 with Tracy Brown, Shannon Holmes, Angel Mitchell.
Yep.
The Massacre 2010 with one of my favorites, J.M. Benjamin,
Right.
J. Rod Nider,
Uh-huh.
and Terry Wotan.
Yep. Terry Roten.
Terry Roden, sorry. Novellas. From Harlem with Love. The Leak. Love and Gunplay. The Life and Times of Slim Goody, one of the best novellas ever written.
Mm.
Wild Cherry was also another good one. Outlaws and Disorder, another good one. Like a little bit of the character jumping around there. I've really enjoyed that.
Mm.
And to finish the coup de grace, but we're not done. Streets of New York that had Mark Anthony, Eric Gray.
I'm not in that book. I just wrote the forward.
You just wrote the forward to that.
Mhm.
I will check my research. Shall we continue? Let's continue. So, featured in Vibe,
Mhm.
Pages, King, The
Mhm.
Liberty Journal, Entertainment Weekly.
Library Journal.
I'm sorry, the Library Journal, the New York Press, Time Magazine,
Mm-hmm.
just to name a few, and MTV and BET.
Yep.
We were associated with Iceberg, Portrait of a Pimp, Iceberg Slim.
No, that's different. Like MTV was a special they had did on Street Lit. I was featured in that. I forgot what the fuck we did for BET. And the thing with Ice-T and those guys was the documentary, the Iceberg Slim Portrait of a Pimp documentary. And they
Yes.
actually I think they won like an award like the Toronto Film Festival with it.
Yes, that is a fact. So 2012 and 2013, you run the SLBAM, which is no small feat. That's a Street Lit Book Awards
Yeah.
medal. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. For Eviction Notice and Animal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And 2011, you run the African American Literary Awards, which I happen to love those awards,
Yeah.
and that was for Welfare Wifeys.
Yeah, I won that a couple of times. The African American Literary Award show. I won for Welfare Wifeys, Diamonds and Pearl. I took one home for The Massacre. Shit, and I forgot. It was another one. Like I got them all on the shelf. Like I would have to be looking at them to tell you which one for which.
Hopefully, I have that problem one day. That would be nice. So, Kawan, Foy, you were
Yes,
on the
yes.
Chronicles, and due to
Yes,
the fact
yes.
we have 50 minutes left, and everybody's going to be throwing questions at you. Okay, here we go.
That's what I'm here for.
Are you ready for the
Always.
11 rapid fire ooh-wee questions? Kawan, Foy.
Let's go, Playboy.
Let's go. Well, they're almost 11. A few more. Okay, they're going to get harder. Just give you a heads up. You've seen the show. Favorite flower?
Man,
Yeah.
favorite flower? Roses, black roses.
Black roses. How did I not know that? Favorite musician?
I have a few. I have like a favorite musician in every genre, but I think that somebody who I listen to just on repeat is Jim Morrison, The Doors. Like I fuck with The Doors heavy.
Yeah. You wonder where all the deep shit comes from. He's listening to The Doors.
That's where Animal came from. Wild Child.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Favorite vacation spot?
I'm in Foxwoods a lot. Like I like to go up there and I don't gamble. That's the crazy shit.
I don't know what that is.
It's a casino. It's in Connecticut. It's Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut.
Oh, I got it. Favorite car?
My favorite car would be the Lexus GS 300, the old one, the '93.
Yes.
93 and the '67 Impala.
67 Impala. How did I not know? Favorite spot in Harlem?
That's a hard one, man. It all depends on what day of the week and what kind of mood I'm in.
Excellent.
You mean like favorite spot to post up, favorite spot to eat? Like what are we saying?
If you were to see Kawan 25 years ago walking into a certain establishment, where would your favorite spot have been? I don't mean the other side.
The weed spot.
Okay.
Nah, but like Harlem, man, all over, man. Like I said, Harlem is such a beautiful place. It all depends on what you're in the mood for, what you're trying to get into.
That's true. I've been there twice. Favorite sports team in sport? I already knew this, but they may not.
Knicks and the Jets.
Knicks and the Jets. Favorite food?
Favorite food? I'm a big fan of crabs. I like crabs.
Crabs, okay. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Well, one of my favorite movies is Constantine. That's a movie like I'll watch whenever. And my wife can't stand it because whenever it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. If Captain America owed you $5,000, would you go and turn his pockets out?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to make sure you can bail me out.
Absolutely. Everybody with the same energy, man. I don't care who you are. My energy is the same at all times.
I know. That's why I'm hoping you take my call when I get done in Jersey.
Yeah, I heard that story.
So, did you know I was Caucasian?
Not at first, no.
No, not at first.
I thought your Twitter Abby was a meme. But it's because of the dialogue. You understand what I'm saying? It's the dialogue, the way we interacted, and that's why. Because like me, I read in the words.
Yes, absolutely. Favorite spot to write?
Where I'm at now, like out on the deck. I can write anywhere, but this is like lately it's been my favorite spot to write.
And interview. I've seen quite a few lives with you in the back.
Yeah, always out there because I like to smoke. So it's a smoke-free house. So I sit outside. I can blow my head off.
Oh, Stan, don't worry about us going back because you're actually going to be included in this live. Would you save Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny? Come on.
Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny? Let me tell you why. Let me eat the Easter Bunny. And I'm gonna tell you why. And my father, God bless the dead, right? Christmas to this day, Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year. I enjoy it pretty much for the kids, the whole holiday season. So when I was a little kid, I was probably like 5 or 6, and I was all hyped up for Christmas, right? Like, yo, Christmas is coming. I gotta be good, Christmas. And my father was like, "Ain't no fucking Santa Claus. It's me and your mother buying you those gifts. You ain't gonna give credit to this old mystery white man," because my father was Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like to him, it was like ideology. So he was like, man, fuck, and it just destroyed me. Like, I'm like, ain't no Santa Claus. And so that kind of soured me on Christmas for a long time. But as an adult, I got back into the Christmas spirit.
Of course, you got kids.
Mhm.
CJ Hudson asked, "Who's your favorite athlete?" I will include CJ in the questioning.
My favorite athlete, I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, of course, we all came up on Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing. I don't know if I can narrow it down and say I have one favorite.
Dikembe Mutombo, thoughts?
I fucked with Mutombo.
Yes. Had his rookie card. It was worth
I fucked
$2.
with Mutombo.
If you could climb Mount Everest, Kawan Foy,
Hmm.
what character from your series would you bring?
What character from my series would I bring if I could climb Mount Everest? Paul from Hood Rat. Paul from Hood Rat. Paul was a
Paul
painter.
from Hoodland.
So Paul would be able to appreciate that view and he would be able to see it like I see it.
I would say Demon. You
What
don't
the
you don't know
I
what's
mean
at the top of Everest.
but I'm talking about like when you say climb the top of Mount Everest, I'm thinking of accomplishment. I'm thinking of the view because the first thing you're going to do when you get to the top of the mountain is you're going to look out
If you
at
make
the
it,
view.
you could get eaten by wild goats. I mean, there's all kinds of shit on Everest.
Oh, I can eat the goats.
You need Demon, Batman, or Robin.
Batman.
Batman. Okay, so how hot was it that day, and how crazy was I in Harlem? That seems to be something of a legend here. So
I mean, you know what? I don't understand. Like every year when they do the Harlem Book Fair, it always seems to be the hottest day of the year. Like no bullshit, no exaggeration. It had to be damn near 100 degrees that day. Because you
100.
remember my guy went and bought Pedialyte back for us because we was out there in that heat. We out there
Mm-hmm.
drinking fucking Pedialyte.
Yeah.
So that shit was real. And you was off the chain. Like I said, like your hustle is impeccable. Your hustle is impeccable. Like because you everybody's a sale, and that's how you should look at it. Everybody's a sale. Like some people like they get starstruck or I'm trying to sell everybody a book. I remember I tried to sell Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a book one time, and he looked at me like I was shit on his shoe, and I cursed him out. And this was a true story. You could ask, I think Tracy Brown was out there when I did it
Mm-hmm.
at the Harlem Book Fair, like maybe 2000. I was young and wild back then. This was like maybe 2003, 2004, and I was so hyped. Like, yo, black authors out here doing a thing, yo, Kareem, boom, boom. And it was something about the look. It was a very dismissive look. So I'm like, man, fuck you. If you ain't buying no books, get the fuck from around here.
This is my hood.
Mhm.
This is where I come from.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, because he made me feel bad. I'm like, man, you just shitting on me, dude. And I'm trying to show you love. I'm trying to give you props.
Was there a writer who sent for you at the Harlem Book Fair
Hmm.
that you thought maybe somebody screwed up the message? Who was that author?
Okay, now this was J.M. Benjamin, and now you have to hear the whole story.
Yes.
J.M. Benjamin had just came home from jail. I didn't know J.M. at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're out there at the Harlem Book Fair, and one of the authors who was signed to me, like we out there, we clicking, like we got the whole crew out there. We got Hennessy, and it's at least 20 of us jammed in my booth. And so the author who was signed to me, he comes to me and he's like, yo, it's this dude, man. He said he need to holler at you, some dude named Jam. I said, all right, man, tell him give me a second. I'm out here hustling. He's like, nah, man, like I think you really need to go see. I'm like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, don't telling me somebody sending for me in the hall. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And I was burnt. So we go over there. We got bats and shit. Yo, who the fuck is Jan Benjamin? So he like, yo, peace, my dude, whatever, read the books in the building. And we got cool like that. And I explained to him, like, yo, Stu talking about you sending for me. Like, nobody, I don't fuck where we at. Nobody sending for me. So me and him, this is something that me and him laugh about to this day because that's how we met.
Right.
I was holding a bat. I still got that bat to this day. It's a short black aluminum bat that I call Little Mama. And I rolled up like, yo, which one of you motherfuckers is J.M. Benjamin, man, looking for me? And it ended up being a really good meeting.
Yes, and he's one of my favorite writers. And if you have not picked up Memoirs of an Accidental Hustler, you're remiss not to read that book. It's absolutely a wonderful book. I put it up there with Road Dogs of changing my writing trajectory.
That's heavy.
It was excellent. So, favorite liquor? Not the one you're drinking, of course.
No, it depends. Like me, Hennessy is always my go-to. But
Yes.
as you start to get older, that shit start to hit different. So, I like Hennessy is my go-to. Jack Daniels. I'm big on whiskey these days. I like a lot of different whiskeys. I try different whiskeys to see which ones suit me.
Do you like blood?
What are you talking about? What are you?
You can put blood and whiskey together and read the ooh,
Oh,
ooh, wee.
ooh, wee, motherfucker! I was looking at you like kind of weirdo shit as you asking me, bro. Nah,
I'm always selling.
I'm a
Always
big,
gotta be closing.
what's so crazy? I'm a big fan of blood, and if you notice, I have supernatural characters in almost all of my books.
Yep.
The reason being is because I started out writing vampire novels. Like Anne
Right.
Rice, is one of my all-time favorite authors. Anne Rice.
Right.
And so, when I first got signed, I got signed for gangster because I couldn't sell the vampire novels.
Right.
And so when it came time for my second book, even when I got to St. Martin's, I'm like, look, this street lit shit is cool. I live it, so it's easy for me to write. But if you want some challenging shit, I got this vampire novel. Nobody wanted the vampire novel. So I still have this novel called Bloodlines. And it's probably about 80,000 words. And I wrote it riding cross country from New York to Springfield, Illinois. I wrote it. I got stopped at the gas station and bought like 5 spiral notebooks and started writing this story. And that was really the first book that I ever wrote. This was summer of 1995, 96.
Yep. Then that's one that's under the pen name, and you have to go and search.
No.
And,
I'm putting that out under my name. Like what I say is
wow.
the reason that I wrote books under a pen name is because when they finally did pick up on my paranormal stuff, they said you're so notorious as far as like the shit. Because I used to do a lot of wild shit. They said you're so notorious as far as the genre you write in and the shit you do. People may not be receptive to a paranormal book coming from you. So let's go with a pen name. So there was a lot of I'm grateful for the opportunity to have put those books out. And there's actually 3 of them out there floating around.
Uh-huh.
But there was a lot of shit that if I had knew then, I'd have did differently. And one thing that I said was like, I'm not writing under no more pen names for my paranormal shit. You either accept me or you don't accept me. So I need to get because they're really great characters and colorful characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why should people not know that I'm a multifaceted author, that I'm ambidextrous, I can write with my right on my left hand, kind of sort of.
And that's the advice you've given me my entire career. So the next question is going to stir controversy for probably the next 40 years. But I'm going to ask this question because it just has to be asked.
Okay.
You understand? You got to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Shoot
Okay.
your shot.
So, inquiring minds want to know. Kawan Foy, can you out-party Stanley E. James II
No, that boy ain't got nothing.
Detroit Hustle and Grind 2021?
Let me tell you something. I love Stanley. Stanley is one of them authors. Me and Stanley never met in person. Stanley, from day one, has always showed me nothing but love and respect. So that, I look at him like that's little bro. But he ain't got enough years on Earth, man, to fuck with me.
Got it.
Not like that.
I believe the quote that will last forever is he doesn't have enough years on Earth to last me.
Not yet, Grasshopper.
Got it. So Stan, there's your answer. JM, we were just talking about you.
Yo, JM, we were just telling a story about how we met at the Harlem Book Fair when Derek was like, this is a real serious dude. I think you need to go see what he wants. What do you mean this is a serious dude? I need to go see what he wants. We looking crazy out here.
We have spent the first 20 minutes on all of that. Now, let's talk about things that your supporters have turned in for. Okay, let's give them some real stuff.
Okay.
So first question I have. Can you still buy product from you through DM to purchase a paperback book?
Yeah. And the thing that I always explain to people, it's easier for stuff that is published under Right to Eat, like my independent stuff. Now, the reason being, when you're signed to a major, right, we can get the books, but the price that they charge us for the books, they upsell us. And it's to keep us from hand to hand. So it's easier, to get the independent stuff. I mean, I have, sometimes I have stuff that I publish under majors on hand, but it doesn't make sense to have large inventories of it because of what they charge us per book.
Yes, which we'll get into in a different. Stan said, "Put me and him in an AC unit room, and it's going down." I will take you for that on Detroit.
And you
We'll
still
do it
can't
in
dance,
Detroit.
cuz. You know
JM
what
will
I'm
be
saying?
there. CJ will be there. Everybody
And
will be there.
and JM was there for this. Let me tell you something. Me and JM went to the West Coast. We
Oh,
out drink and out smoke about 50 motherfuckers. We was the only two out there representing for the East Coast, and everybody was asleep except us. And I got it on video.
I don't find that hard to believe.
I got it on video. I always
I don't
promised I
find
would never post a video out of respect to the OGs, but we got it on video. The motherfuckers was asleep,
got kids now, got wives,
but they was
got
asleep.
husbands. It's yeah.
And I went back. I went back another time. JM didn't go with me this time, and they was like, "Yeah, I heard you, the dude from New York. You came out here last time. You did whoop de whoop. Let's go round two. Same results. I got it on video. Some very, very, very well respected people that was like, "Yo, New York, we can't fuck with you." They call me Iron Lung. They call me Iron Lung on the West Coast. It's a name I earned. It ain't just something they gave me. I earned it.
Stan, take notes. So people can hit you up in DM to buy your books directly. Get an autographed copy of a Kawan Foy book.
Yeah, depending on what I have on hand, absolutely.
Okay, so hit him up. Everybody that's listening, hit him up. If you want an autographed Kawan Foy book, it's time to buy them. You got them. Let's do it. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Look, what is my saying? I got 1 for.
1 for 15, 2 for 25, 3 for 30, bro.
Feel me? That's how we do it. Okay. So, writing styles. Let's get into why you're on the Chronicles.
Okay.
Your go-to writing style, is that going to be dribble in the pen first and get your mind right, or are you going straight to the keys and drop it?
I always got to do a bunch of bullshitting. Sometimes I have that laptop open and I may write one sentence in an entire day. So, but when it hits me, it's like catching lightning in a bottle.
Yep.
And what I used to do, if you go back to like one of the very first interviews that I did, I was explaining to the person interviewing me that I used to play a lot of video games back then. Because with the video games, it gets your brain to work. You know, your brain is firing. And then I'm going to go directly to the laptop and start writing.
Excellent, excellent. Do you see that a lot of your best work came from that, or do you see that a lot of your best work that you've won awards for, were you doing the video game thing and then the writing, or were you just driving?
Nope. You know what a lot of my best work came from? Being behind on deadlines. Because I'm one of those people, like, if you tell me stop, I'm going to go.
Okay.
So, and I have this really bad habit, and I swear I don't do it intentionally. I'll wait till the last minute. Like, I'll have to have a book turned in 3 weeks, and I may only have 10,000 words done. So it's something about that pressure that just wakes the demon. Like Raph, let me tell you, when I wrote Raph, I wore the same clothes every day for like 3 weeks. And I was just smoking and drinking coffee and liquor in the coffee. And I knocked that shit out. Like even with I think it was Section 8. Section 8, the last 50,000 words of Section 8 I wrote over the course of like 7 days. So my nickname for Section 8 is the 7-Day Theory.
7-Day Theory?
Mm-hmm. Because excellent. I wrote the bulk of it in 7 days.
I have only cried in 2 books in my life. One of them was Road Dogs, the first book I ever cried in. The second one I cried and did an 8-minute video, which was called The Memoirs of an Accidental Hustler. Both of those books are signed and autographed in plastic on my shelf. So thank you for being absolutely crazy when it comes to writing, because you write some of the best shit ever.
Appreciate that, man.
The question I haven't drank in 18 years. If I were to sit in your chair and do your routine, do you ever fall out of the chair drunk?
No, man.
No.
I'm a fucking adult. You mean no? But I've definitely fallen asleep at the computer.
Yes, I've done that. Mm-hmm. Now, do you wake back up and your fingers kick back on, or do you have to blink?
Yeah, wake back up. When I wrote Animal 4, I slept on a bag of dirty laundry in my office for like 3 or 4 days. Like people were like, my daughter was like, "Do you still even live here?"
Ooh, that's a good valid question when you're in the lab cooking.
Yeah, cooking, man.
Oh, Stan was going to ask. I went Game of Chronicles on this. I wanted to feel like what Ned Stark felt like, so I put this fluffy thing on here.
I see the North remembers. I see.
Yeah, the North remembers.
Got the wolf out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need this bitch when I read your next book, because I'm gonna be crying like a little bitch on the couch.
Man, I almost told what my next book is gonna be. technically my next books are going to be The Vow, and then I have The Reluctant King coming out, and then I have something else that I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about right now. But
It's
before
not.
before all that, I'm putting another book out.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we'll see when it drops what it is, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay. Moving on. What makes a good plot to you?
A good plot is something that when I'm done reading it, I'll be like, yo, I never saw that coming. Or a book that I'm reading and I find myself emotionally invested in the characters.
You are known to have written a lot of Anne Rice or read a lot of Anne Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite character?
Favorite character. Everybody says Lestat. Lestat was not my favorite character. My favorite character, one of my favorite characters was Merrick. And fuck, it's been so long. I like Merrick. Morbius was kind of I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm probably gonna have to go with Merrick, and the reason I say Merrick because I love all Anne Rice's characters, but Merrick was the first time she introduced a black vampire, an African American vampire from the body.
Awesome. I like that. So, are you apologetic about the people that hate the person that says "smell me"? Are you in the least bit
Not
apologetic?
at all. They love the
No,
Don. They
no,
love
no.
Don B.
They love Don.
Don B is one of those characters you hate him because he's a piece of shit, but you can't wait to see what he's gonna do next.
He's no worse than Chucky.
Chucky was bad, man. Chucky was a bad person.
You
He was
think? I
he was
waited
a
a
bad
year to read the third installment because I thought he was. Yeah,
Chucky was
I
a
couldn't.
character like Chucky was a character like even me as his creator, I didn't like him.
Mhm. I've done a couple of those. So just so you know, when I read Fix 3, I threw it across the room
I didn't
and
I
literally
tell you? But
exploded.
I told you when you got to the end, it was gonna be a different experience for you.
It was something out of a straight. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
You know why? You know why the Fix 3 read like that? And I'm gonna tell you why. A couple of reasons. I always tell people when you're writing a series, right? Um, the first book is like that. I compare it to relationships. The first book is like the first date. Um, the second book is like, okay, y'all been dating for a while and you're trying to see where it's going. The third book is when you're trying to decide whether you want to marry this broad or not. So with the Fix 3, I didn't really fall in love with the series until halfway through the second book. With the third book, I had taken so long to turn it because there's a 2-year gap. I had taken so long to turn the book in that the publisher forgot I owed them a third book. So one day, just randomly, I just gave them this book, and they're like, well, "What's this?" And I'm like, "This is the third book in my contract." And they're like, "Oh shit, you did owe us another book." And so, and I write best when I'm left alone. Like the Fix 3 was like that. Ghetto Bastard was like that. Um, Animal 5 is one of those books like that. Uh, Gutter. So there's certain books like people just leave me to my own devices. Then I may surprise you.
That has never been under question. You've been one of the only people that I have ever. I'm purposely not reading a series to get through every other thing you've ever written, and then I'll close the catalog with that.
When you get to the animal series, you're gonna see a whole different side of my pen.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because if you look at characters like Ja, Demon, even Cross to an extent, the Cain and Hound, they were all. I was trying to create something. I was looking for a formula. An animal ended up being the finished product of this formula of a character that I was trying to create. And with with every story in the animal series, there's an alternate ending where he dies. Because I always say, okay, this is the book where I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. And I just had not past tense been able to let him go.
And that's the probing question, which I'm sure people are going to be wondering. I know this question to answer, but they probably don't. Do you outline?
No. And I think that that's a drawback. My agent told me, and my agent said, yo, you need to start outlining your shit. And I'm like, why? He said, because it gives you an anchor. It keeps you from going, because all my books are freestyle. From
Mm-hmm.
the first page to the last page, I like the whole shit is freestyle. Like I
Mhm.
never know where it's gonna go. So so I'm just as surprised sometimes at the ending as you guys are.
Right. And that's, I think, the best way to write a book.
Hmm.
They call it pantsing in the fantasy community where I live.
Ah, okay. You just taught me something new. I was today years old when I learned that.
Plotter and pantser.
Plotter and pensive. Okay.
That's the panel that I'm on because I'm the only pantser in the room.
Okay.
Everybody else is religious about their outlining.
Yeah,
I never ever wrote an outline.
and you seeing the crazy shit about that is because a lot of times with a publisher they'll ask you for an outline. If you look at the synopsises for most of my books, they don't match the story because the synopsis is one of the first things you turn in.
Right.
So like when I'm turning in synopsis, I may only have 10,000 words of the book, and the synopsis is a good idea of where I think I'm going to go with the book, and then it just goes left. If you look at the back of section 8, that book was supposed to be about Tiana and Tech. It ended up being about Animal and Gucci. But if the synopsis says it's a story about Tiana and Tech,
Hmm. But it doesn't have anything to do with those two.
no, it does. It starts with them because originally in the original plot, Tiana and Tech were supposed to be the love story. And what happened was Tech was kill him up, kill him up, kill him up. Everybody knows Tech, wild ass Tech. But I needed a balance. I needed something or someone to balance him out. And I kept playing with these characters, and trying to come up with something to give Tech balance. Now, a lot of times when I'm listening to music, I'll put my shit on random. That's back when when you had the iPods. So I would put it on random. And this song came on. It was Wild Child by the Doors. And I don't think I had ever heard it at the time. And I was listening to what Jim Morrison was saying. And he was describing this kid, this motherless kid, just fucked up kid. And I started fleshing out Animal. And he didn't have a name back then. So it's like in the original manuscript, it's a blank space wherever his name is supposed to go. So, and I think that I went back, I think after his first kill, I said, this motherfucker's an animal. And that's how Animal was one of my favorite Muppets. So,
I, I still think that your hitmen, how you write them,
mhm,
is unequivocal in the game. There's
I
nobody
appreciate that.
that can write a hitman like that. It's unbelievable. The lack of moral emotion that
Mhm,
character goes through,
mhm,
it's seldom to be seen. You can see it. I think you paint it with a very thin brush, and
mhm.
then you just kind of take that basic tiny piece of humanity, and then you just kind of rub it into the rest of the canvas.
Yeah, and that's what I do. Like a lot of times I'll go back. Like I did it with a book that I'm not gonna name recently. I decided that I didn't like the way that the book was flowing. So I went and took like I think I removed maybe 25,000 words and started replacing like a puzzle because I write like a patchwork quilt. But the thing about that is when you do that, like if I let's say if I decide I don't like chapter 20 being chapter 20, I want it to be chapter 3. You have to go back to the beginning of the story and start weaving everything together from the beginning, and and it adds content and it starts fleshing out the characters.
Which I believe you call like shifting plates.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly, shifting plates. Like and sometimes like as I go along with a series, characters change. Like how in the first couple of books, Animal was a killer, but he wasn't like the Animal that you met in Eviction Notice. It's the same. It's the same thing with Zopound. Like everybody loves Zopound and his girlfriend and such, and we love Zopound. But when you read Animal 5, you'll see a different part of Zopound. There's a monstrous side of him that had not been seen in the previous books, and I felt like it was necessary to bring that out of him. So this didn't make sense to keep him in the series.
Very true. So your writing process is known to those of us that know you very well. But
Mm.
walk me through a day where you are just bleeding the pen, just from the moment to the wake up to the go to bed.
Well, when I get up, like I'm a pretty early riser. Like I get up at odd times, right? And I may lay in the bed for 2 hours thinking about what I want to write. Like, okay, this is what I'm gonna fuck with. This is what I'm gonna do. I'll get up and I'll open the laptop and I'll end up checking my Instagram. and I look back at the laptop, then I got to check my Facebook, and I do this. But once I lock in and I key in, I put the earpods in, and I'll listen to like depending on the character and the scene setting, I may listen to a podcast, I may listen to music, I may be listening to documentaries on YouTube, and then I'll just start going. And the thing about a writer is like once I latch on to a thought, you got to leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you calling my phone. I don't want to, because sometimes I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because the smallest thing, like I can get an alert from Instagram and I look to check the alert and I've lost that train of thought.
Yep.
And I may not be able to get it back for that whole day.
I'm starting to learn that. Okay, so we go through that. Then we go to lunch. Is that what we do? Is that what we do?
I don't eat because when I eat, I get sleepy. So
Okay.
I gotta I don't stop to eat until I'm starving and I start getting dizzy. And I feel like I'm gonna fall the fuck out. I eat only when necessary. Like when I'm really deep in a story like that.
Right. And then we go into nighttime. So where is family time in here, Kawan? Do you just lock yourself away in a room with a lab and a
Yeah,
coat?
I mean I gotta do the family time, I make the dinner with the family, And I used to sometimes I used to write all night. Like I would get everybody situated and then I would write all night. But these days, like I do a lot of writing during the day. Like if I feel it, like if a story won't let me sleep, then I'll have the laptop and I'll write all night. But I do make time for family, like in the evening, sunset or whatever. Eat dinner. We have designated shows that we watch together as a family on television, and then it's my time whether I choose to write or whatever's going on. But generally, I like to get up these days like early and start writing. Like I'm usually up. I could like 5 in the morning. And again, I spend like an hour just looking at the ceiling or listening to the news, thinking about what I want to write for that day, where I want to go with the story.
Well, you're definitely better than me to listen to the news.
Yeah.
So I've asked you this since, for those of you that don't know, I hit Kawan up on Twitter. I had written a book, and what became Blood and Whiskey years later. And I'll never forget the first time that somebody came up to me and they said, if you want to learn how to write, then you learn this. And he handed me Road Dogs. And I'll never forget that. And his name was Leroy Pierce. And he said, you don't write. You write. You good?
Yeah. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you, bro.
Can you get okay? No, because my phone, the battery was down, and I hit a button on the phone, and I don't know what the fuck it did. So I just wanted to make sure.
I also got some asshole that decided to call in the middle of a live that never called.
No.
I don't know what the fuck that was. So for those of you that don't know, I hit him up on Twitter, and I checked my Twitter every 5 minutes. When I sent you, I'd never been on Twitter. I didn't know if it was like like your phone. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
So I'm scared because I have a BlackBerry. So I got this other person's phone, and I'm outside because he can't have camera phone. So I'm hiding in a cut, and I'm looking. I'm like, I know he's gonna write me back. He's gonna write me back. I didn't know that there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people that follow you and hit you up. I had no idea. So all of a sudden,
I try to get to everybody though.
You do. So you got back to me. It was like 8 hours later. I'm still in the cut, running out there every 5 minutes to check this damn phone. And finally, I had asked you something similar to, I need some writing advice. And you said, finish your shit. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I hit you right back because I figured you were right there. And I didn't know that there were things that could answer, publicists, those things could answer it. So
I don't use those. I know,
but I didn't know the game at that point. I didn't know if there was, I thought it was like literally this going on because I didn't even know what that was. And I said, how do I make it work? And you said, well, you got to give it wings to fly. And that inspired me. I'll never forget it. That was a big deal to me. And I think that brings me into my next question of, you're known to absolutely slaughter your characters.
Yes, I am.
So do you have any remorse for that, for the people that cry?
Nope. Like, that's one thing about me. I have no problem killing the main character. What I do is I create these characters that you fall in love with, and then I kill them in just the dirtiest way possible. If you look at all the main characters, and I don't want to ruin it for people that may not have read some of these older books, like from Gangster on. Like, you would root for these characters to win. You would love these characters, and then I would just do some real fuck shit to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some terrible shit you do to characters.
Yeah,
it hurts.
It's a necessary evil because I need you to feel it. I don't need you to. I don't need you to just read the story. I need you to feel the story. I needed to have an impact on your life to where just years later, like how people are still talking about Ja, people have still never forgiven me for what I did to Ja.
I'm acting like I read that book. I haven't. I've just been.
Yeah.
So if it pissed Taj off, then I know it's probably worth something. So out of all your books, what's your favorite? I'm going to scroll back through and see if I missed any.
That's like asking me which one of my kids that I favor more. It's an unfair question. But out of all the books, the one that I had the most fun writing, well, two actually were Wrath and Ghetto Bastard. And Gangster, of course.
Road Dogs, Demon.
Road Dogs was, I wrote Road Dogs to prove a point. Because
I
they
know.
were saying that I was a one-hit wonder. And
Thank
I'm
God
like,
for
yeah.
that person.
Because what happened was the publisher sent me a list of books to go buy. Because like urban fiction was just resurfacing around the time I put Gangster out. So she was like, look, this is a list of books I need you to go get. This is your competition. And probably only one person out of that pile that I said, okay, this motherfucker gets busy. But everybody else, I was like, I told her, yo, don't ever disrespect me. I write circles around all these motherfuckers. And I did. And a lot of these people whose books she sent me, they were like bigger than me in the game at the time. And just not nice to me. Because, people used to treat me fucked up. When I was the new kid, I was the baby of the group. I was just this young, skinny kid, like fucking 60 pounds ago, from out of Harlem.
Welcome. And that's the main reason that I have all that respect for you is because you took the time for somebody, and I'm not the only somebody. There are plenty of somebodies out there.
You have to. You have to pay it forward because my thing was, early in my career, nobody wanted to help me. Nobody wanted to answer questions for me because it was more profitable for some people to keep me ignorant to the game, and then some people were insecure. Like, my shit is like, I can tell you everything I know for free and not feel no way about it because what you do and what I do is you're not going to affect my bottom line one way or another. And I would rather give you the jewels to have you play the game the right way as opposed to watching you fuddle around and fuck it up.
Yeah, and lose bags of money. So Taj, I of course has to quote Taj. I love when he killed them motherfuckers.
Because she knows, and Taj has been reading my shit, and she knows, and we've had these conversations. Did you see the shirt that she wore to the Books and Bowling that said "Kill Animal"? She had on this shirt, and if you go look through my pictures on Instagram or go look through her pictures, she has on this shirt that says "Kill Animal," and people hated that shirt. They hated that fucking shirt.
I felt like I arrived when she read Blood and Whiskey 2, and she says, normally I don't get upset when somebody kills a character, but I'm actually upset right now that somebody killed this character. Yeah. And I was like, wow. Because she's an OG in the game for readers. I mean, she's the one.
You gotta be emotionally invested.
I think Stan just made a comment.
What did he say? Gangsta is what?
Believe it or not, Gangsta is one of them books that the West Coast urban fiction books on the shelves depict LA's gang culture.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm from New York City, born and raised in Harlem, right? Gangbanging started in New York in the 90s, right? So, but it's not something that was organic to New York. We had street gangs, like we represented your neighborhood, but we were not Bloods and Crips by nature. So, like, some of us that are a little older, we was looking at motherfuckers like clowns that was claiming sets, like, because that wasn't us. So, probably about 97, 98, I think it was 1998, I moved to California. I lived in Carson, right? So now my job, when I lived in California, I didn't have a regular job. I was a door-to-door salesman. So they would drop us off in some of the worst neighborhoods in California, and I would have to go door-to-door to try to sell shit to people. So I didn't sell a lot of books, but I got a hell of an education. Meeting just different homies from different sets, like, they looking at me like I'm the type of motherfucker, like, not knowing no better. I have on some red shit going to a Crip neighborhood where they at it with these dudes, or I have on a jersey with the wrong numbers, and it looks like I'm flying that flag. So and they had to pull my coat, like, homie, you want to get killed running around out here, like, and I'm like, yo, I don't know no better. I'm from fucking New York. So they educated me. So, and I became really close friends with a lot of the dudes, a lot of the OGs who was gangbanging out there. So when I came back to New York, I'm looking like, this shit is all wrong. This ain't how it go. Like, I would ask some of the little homies, like, yo, who quote some lit? Who brought you home? And they had no fucking clue what I was talking about when I asked them to quote lit. I'm like, yo, you don't even know your history. So, and this is why I wrote Gangster. Gangster was my ode to the West Coast, to the homies who, instead of watching me just get into a bad situation, took me under the wing and taught me. They gave me an education to make sure that I was okay, to know where to, okay, well, if you over here, no, don't fuck with these ones, or if you over here, you know what I'm saying, just so I can move around out there. And I really appreciated that. So that's why when I wrote Gangster, I was like, nah, I got to show you how, this was my interpretation of it. And this is how it go down out there. And it was so crazy that I wrote such a believable story. I used to get letters from like the Bloods on Rikers Island, and everybody in the house would sign it like, nigga, we gonna kill you when we catch you. Like, you out here, like, you trying to shit on the homies, like, we gonna kill you. And I'm like, everybody thought I was in gang, and I wasn't no gang. It was just the story, the validity and the authenticity of the story, because I had been around some real motherfuckers who was really from there. So I was able to speak to that based on what I had learned.
And that is considered one of your best-selling books of all time, correct?
To this day, I get a nice check from Gangster to this day. To this day. And that's another reason why I felt like I had to put a lot of, when I discovered writers on the West Coast, I felt like I had to put them on because they had stories to tell too. So I'm like, yo, these dudes have such, these dudes, they hold like in LA, the whole way of living is different. Gangbanging is not just a fad. It's a fucking culture. It's how you raised up. If you're born and your family live in a certain hood, that's what hood you from. You don't have a choice. This is where you from. This is where you're from. Or you gotta move. You gonna fly this or you gonna move.
Facts. I know that the Irish, we deal with it the same way.
Right. So we
don't allow others from the outside into our.
You got a lot of younger dudes in New York that's claiming hoods, that's claiming LA hoods that they never been to. They never made the pilgrimage. They ain't never set foot on the West Coast. So like, I understand, and I don't knock nobody for what they're doing, but you gotta know some shit, man. Educate yourself. If this is what you're gonna do, this is what you're gonna stand on, educate yourself. Know why it's going on. A lot of people don't even know, like, these motherfuckers, like, they were slashing old ladies and snatching pocketbooks. I'm like, yo, this ain't what gangbanging is about. Gangbanging started out as community activism. These dudes got together to protect their neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Y'all motherfuckers is out here snatching chains and robbing people, hardworking people that's coming home from work. Y'all ain't even rocking it right.
It's absolutely accurate. It's a different day. So, if you could be on a desert island with one thing, excluding family, can't cheat on that. What would it be? What would be the one item that you would want on the island with you?
My laptop, of course.
Oh, I was going somewhere else with that. I didn't. Let's move on. So, laptop, and then
laptop.
And,
fuck. I mean, what you want me to say? Laptop, maybe some good weed? Like, what do you mean?
There you go. I was like, well, you don't have a power outlet. That's a problem.
But the crazy thing is, everybody that knows me knows that I used to be a heavy weed smoker. Like, I still smoke weed, but not like I did.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. And I'm glad that's moving forward. So we've got about 5 minutes left. Let's talk about where everybody can find you. What books are coming up?
Well, like I said, I got Black Lotus 2. I got The Reluctant King. I have the book that will be coming out very shortly that I will not name and mention because everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I'm just not putting a date on it. I want people to keep sending me those DMs and those direct messages like, when are you coming out with this? You're just gonna wake up one day and the book is gonna be available. But I got like maybe 20 people who I'm gonna send copies to this, and I have this list, and it's just gonna pop up in their mailboxes. Real soon.
Yeah, that's one thing. Okay. And if they were to hit you up, what books do you have on hand? Do you know off the top of your head what you may have or not?
But the pandemic has shut a lot of shit down, so I haven't gone back to print with a lot of stuff. I think I got like Wrath. I have some mass market copies of Gangster and some other shit. Like, it's just a bunch of random shit.
So just hit you up on DM and say,
and I'll tell you what I got, and you let me know what you need.
Good. And Cash App, PayPal, the whole nine, right?
Yep. Cash App, PayPal, Zelle.
Whatever you got to do. Kawan, I am so grateful you came on.
Of course, man.
when I started this 30 days ago, 35 days ago, my goal was to get you on, and I got you on, and I really thank you very much for coming
No
out tonight.
problem, man. It was long overdue, man. Just scheduling sometimes is crazy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we'll get into that. So I'm going to zone out. We got about 56 after. Yeah. So, but everybody can find you on your Instagram handle.
Yep, or Google me if you don't know. Google me.
I was just waiting for you to say that.
Google me, motherfucker.
Google me. I am Kawan Foy, bitches.
But I'm my mother's child before anything. I'm
very true, and one of the most humble men in the game.
Absolutely.
All right, Kawan.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate all you guys who tuned in.
Oh, you have another interview coming up soon.
Oh yeah, Tuesday with E. Kane. With
E. Kane.
Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday at 9:00. So the flyer is on my page. 9:00 at night. Yeah, I'm a vampire.
Good.
It's a nice house.
I just want to make sure that we tune into that one too. That's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it. Okay. So Tuesday, go to your IG page and they'll tell you exactly where it is.
Yes, I'll be live with E. Kane.
Awesome. I really appreciate you, brother. Being the biggie of literature.
My man. I appreciate that, bro.
All right. We'll catch up.
One.
All right. Thanks. Okay, so that was Kawan Foy's interview, author of almost 30 books. He is basically the biggie of literature, and there's nobody that can tell me different. So if you're just tuning in, you're watching the rerun. My name is DB Bray, the writer. I have written Blood and Whiskey 2, Firelands, and The Last Tribe. You are watching, if you've sat here this long, you're watching the Ooh-Wee Chronicles. Ooh-Wee! And I will be off until next Wednesday is my next live. So just kind of backing off a little bit to take care of some personal stuff. So if you don't see me on the live for a few, then you know where I'm at. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a huge, huge thing for me to get Kawan on here. He's one of my mentors and one of my the person I aspire to be as a writer. I mean, I just want to keep it going. So yeah, and I rewatch it, love it, live it, and hey, coming up July 2nd, CJ Hudson's coming on, so we need to really tune in for that. So you guys got about 7 days, and then CJ Hudson's coming on. We're gonna really get it in. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to the Ooh-Wee Chronicles, and I love this. This is great. I love this. This is an awesome feeling. All right. Good night, y'all.